My name's Ned Waters. I'm with the Florida Cattlemen's Foundation, and this is the cow camp. This camp was built. It's a replica of a 1905 cow camp in Polk County, and there's a cabin and a set of cow pens and a table out front and a fire ring. And this was built in celebration of the 150th anniversary of Polk County. Also at the camp is the cabin. It's a cypress board cabin. Come on in, we'll take a look around. In this cabin here, you have a wood stove which was used to heat the cabin. These cabins were used for the cow people would build these geographically, and different families would use them sometimes it'd be one family. They would use them to camp in just to get out of the elements of the weather when they were gathering cattle in the late 1800s and early 1900s. There's still some in existence today. But anyway, the wood stove would of course be used to cook on and to heat the place. You had primitive top furniture just built out of, all this is built out of cypress. Some of them were built out of pine, but you just have table and chairs. These are moss beds. These beds were built, and they would gather the moss out of the trees to make a mattress for them. None of these had screens in them. They just had to brave those elements as far as the heat and the mosquitoes and those kinds of things. So this is a set of pens. These cow camps were normally located where they would gather the cattle to come, they would pen them, gather them up and pen them, and then they would ship the calves. But back then they came straight off grass, and they were usually shipped some to Cuba during that trade time, and then to other markets before trains and roads and those kinds of things. They drove them to the market. The cow whip is still used today by cowmen, and it's descended from the early Spanish conquistador ranchero type things that were set up during the Spanish days, but it was normally, back those days, it was platted with a brain cured buckskin, and then it was used to handle their dogs, to scare cattle out of rough places. It's used for a lot of different things, but it has evolved over the years, pretty much unchanged except for the material that they're built out of. And for the most part now they're built out of nylon. Same type of plaiting and construction, same type of handles, and it's got a string here that hangs on your saddle horn so you don't lose them. And then it's tapered. It starts out big, and as it goes down the whip, you keep dropping strings, less strings and less strings, and it keeps tapering all the way down to the fall, and then the cracker. And actually, when you pop it, it's actually breaking the sound barrier because it's changing direction so fast. So they were breaking the sound barrier long before they ever realized what they were even doing. So, but it's almost always used just for noise. You know, it makes a lot of noise. You can kind of keep up with where everybody's at in the woods too. Thanks for visiting the cow camp at Circle B Bar. We hope you enjoyed your visit.